Joining us now, Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois. Governor, thank you for being on the show this morning. A lot of different angles to talk to you about, but let's talk about the women that may be coming to your state. Are there preparations? How will you accommodate the fact that there might be people, crossing state lines now to receive the care they need?
Well, you're right. We're going to see potentially 10 to 20,000 more women crossing state lines. We already saw 10,000 last year to exercise their reproductive rights. And we've been preparing for this. We're going to have a special session shortly to look at how we can expand capacity in our state. For example, we need more healthcare workers, and we can extend the ability to perform these procedures to advanced nurse practitioners, as has been done in other states. And, of course, expanding the facilities that exist in our state. We have a number of clinics that are near the borders of Illinois, and that's where those women will be coming to. We came to this issue 5 years ago when we removed our trigger laws. The women in our state legislature led that effort, and we did that several years ago in anticipation of this terrible day. And then right after I got elected, we passed the Reproductive Health Act, which guarantees a woman's right to choose in our state. So we're ready. We're getting ready for many more women. I mean, we believe that people have a right that has been taken away, but that we're going to guarantee in the state of Illinois.
Is there anything you think other states should be doing who also are in the situation where they preserve the right to make it safe for women? I'm feeling extremely concerned for women who are in this position, who need these services, being discriminated against or perhaps even, arrested or whatever could happen as they are trying to leave their states.
Well, as you know, there are laws that have been passed in other states that would hold people criminally or civilly liable for assisting people who are seeking to exercise their reproductive health rights. And Connecticut, for example, passed a law that would fight back against that. We're looking at that here in the state of Illinois. We need to protect them in that way. We need to make sure that people are secure, literally physically secure, as they enter the state, as they come to clinics, the people who work in our clinics secure. There's a great deal that more that we could do. And of course, I encourage states that can pass a Reproductive Health Act to do so. But we're at the moment looking at least in Illinois, nearly every state around us. We have 5 states bordering us. 4 of them have trigger laws that have gone into effect. And the 5th one, Indiana, is about to outlaw abortion. So this is very serious, and it is dividing the country. This Supreme Court has done something that I never thought in my 57 years on this earth would happen, which is a reduction of rights. Every year, every decade, there's been an expansion of rights of our citizens. Now a reduction. I've been fighting for a woman's right to choose my entire life. My mother got me involved in this back in the 70s as a kid. And I really believe that there's a danger in this nation of not just a removal of reproductive rights, but LGBTQ rights and a woman's right to birth control and decide when she's going to have a child. These are all things that are now on the ballot in 2022. We've got to elect pro-choice legislators, pro-choice governors, pro-choice Supreme Court judges like here in Illinois.
Agreed. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We're going to have much more on the reaction to the Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, including how some businesses, Joe, are taking action to make sure their employees can still get the care they need.